Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room. And of course, I am the sexiest man on all over the wrestling radio. That's right, the Southern Playboy himself. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, as you can probably tell by looking at me, I got a little sun here. I'm a little sunburnt. It looks pretty bad here. The wife decided to take a little day trip. We went to Virginia Beach, and I went down there. And by the way, I want to take this opportunity just to tell you, that little spray-on suntan lotion they have, the little sunblock, comes in a can, spray it. Don't get that. Don't use that. I let my wife get that, and she said, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine." So I sprayed it on myself, and now I don't know if you can tell right here just by looking, but you can see how you've got partial. You can literally see where the suntan lotion hit me right here, and places it didn't protect very well. So that's why I've got like splotches of, okay, this is okay, versus, oh shit, I'm burned, and all of my back is just fucking destroyed right now. And actually got splotches of sunburn and stuff on there. So yeah, so if I seem like I'm a little bit wincing, a little bit in pain when I turn my head, it's because I don't know if you can tell from this angle, but yeah, I've got pretty bad sunburn here, but I decided to suck it up. I'm going to go through it. I've slathered myself up with aloe. I've got another southern remedy for a sunburn, which I'm probably going to try out the next day or two because it's getting pretty bad. But it gave me a pretty good opportunity to sit back, put a wet washcloth around my neck here, and sit down and watch NXT. And of course, I'm going to ask the question like I asked at the top of every review: what did you give tonight's show? Do you give it a win? Do you give it a loss, or do you give it a tie? So down here in the comment section, please tell me, what did you think about tonight's show? Win, loss, or tie? After last week, when I gave it a tie, I think I need to be a little bit generous because I think good booking is what saved this show tonight. So I'm gonna give it a weak win because I felt like booking really saved everything. As I said last week, for those of you who didn't watch it previously on the Boom Boom Room, I'm saying that NXT is in a lot of trouble right now. They're in more trouble than what they're letting on. With the exception of the women's division, the roster is incredibly thin. With the combination of injuries and call-ups, their superstar roster has been depleted. So you've got like a handful of like really awesome guys and some guys who just, well, hey, it's developmental. That's why they're there, but they're not that great. So you got to try to find an hour of television to make out of that. So it's at least what I call my business. Some days you have to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Well, they got a whole shovel full of chicken shit, and they're going to have to turn down some chicken salad ASAP. So with that, I'm still going to say I'm going to give it a weak win. I was kind of disappointed by the main event, and I'll explain why. So let's just dive right into this review. So please, again, tell me what you thought. Keep your questions coming in. I'll get those answered. Coco is out. I don't know what he had to do. I don't know if he had to, I think he's, standing on some street corner, dressed in, fishnet stockings and a tube top, saying something about $5 for a Cleveland steamer, whatever the hell that is. So looking at it here, let's go down here right way out the matches here. We start out, of course, with a tribute to Dusty Rhodes. And, of course, if you didn't see Monday Night Raw this past week, that's exactly the same video package that aired. And I think it was appropriate to play there. And speaking of that, Dusty Rhodes' funeral was in Orlando, Florida today. It was a private ceremony, but there were some pictures of some of people coming in. It was just a who's who. Kind of conveniently did not see Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon, Triple H. And I understand that, maybe you've had some kind of business, but I think with a funeral, I think this is one of those things I think you got to make time for. You got to, if you got a meeting or something, look, we had a death. I really need to go to this funeral. This guy was really, Dusty Rhodes freaking died. I'm pretty sure even non-wrestling fans know who Dusty Rhodes is. So I think they would have understood. But I like that they also showed his connection with NXT, putting the belt on Seth Rollins, the first ever NXT champion, and him. And I think that parting little shot was him in an NXT ring, and this is Dusty Rhodes saying happy trails to you till we meet again. I think that was just great. I think that was a very wonderful. And for those of you wondering about the TMZ releasing the 911 call when Rhodes' wife called about the fall, have I listened to it? To be honest, I know I should be a good wrestling host. Be like, oh yeah, I listened to it. I think this, that, the other. They're saying that the 911 call operator sounded apathetic. To be honest, guys, I just really didn't have the stomach to listen to it. There's a lot of good taste, and people think like people like me who are involved in the news business, we're like all this exploitation, blood and guts, we're people too, and to me, I'm just like that's kind of tasteless. So I'm just not going to listen to it, and I kind of agree with X-Pac's message. It's one of the few things I actually agree with X-Pac on. But it's kind of like this voyeuristic thing, and it's just, to me, it just doesn't have any place because I'm not going to gain anything. I mean, the guy died, it was an accident. And, if the guy was shot by like an intruder, yeah, maybe I could listen to that. But this is an accident, and I'm not going to waste my time. But anyway, sorry, not trying to put off the NXT review. Let's get down and dirty with it. We had a 6-person tag match to kick off the match. We had Enzo Amore, Colin, Cassie, and Carmella teaming up to take on the tag team champions of Blake and Murphy and their partner Alexa Bliss. I kind of like this match. I think Enzo's got a little room for improvement, but right now, just like for showmanship and entertainment wise, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady are fucking entertaining as hell. And by the way, can I just say, we need to give who's ever booking this like some extra money, because if you can, Carmella's starting to get over. When it came to that, there were a few more boos when they introduced Carmella, but nowhere near as bad as it used to be. So props to the guy who decided to work with Carmella and try to get her in some kind of storyline in a position where she would actually be cheered. Now, it's not quite there yet, but they're taking a step in the right direction. So props to that guy. In a way, I wish they could take like the wrestling talent that Blake and Murphy have and mix it with the charisma that Enzo Amore and Colin Cassady have. Then you have a fucking amazing tag team, one that's ready to move up to the main roster. But Enzo and Cass, I do think they looked a little bit better. I like the whole 6-person aspect of it. Ties them all into it here. They started working them over. Of course, Wesley Blake sporting the pigtails, just having fun with it. Crowd chanting, "You look stupid," and making fun of his pigtails. Enzo Amore lying on his feet, tagging in Colin Cassady. This led to basically all hell just broke loose. You saw everybody in the ring at the same time. Then they take the champions and Alexa Bliss outside of the ring. Carmella got the hot tag, beat up on Alexa for a little bit. And I think the shorter these two work together, the better. This will be about their 3rd encounter. The first one they had was just awful. The second one was a little bit better. I think it was better because it was in small doses, and I think that's how these two work quite well together. These two, I think they're where they need to be, because I wouldn't put Alexa or Carmella in the mix for the NXT Women's Championship, at least not anytime soon. But maybe with a little more work, I think they could be something. I'm not going to completely shit on Carmella. I think she's got a lot of potential. Whether or not she'll tap into it and live up to it, that's to be seen. Alexa Bliss, I think she could definitely be something. She did a great good guy role. Her old gimmick was Princess Elsa from Frozen. Now she's a bad guy. Instead of like a little bit of blue hair, she's got some red tips on the end of her hair. Doing very good in that heel role. So I think, she can play both sides of the fence. And to me, that's marketable, because if you get one guy that's always going to be a good guy or one guy that's only a bad guy, you kind of handcuff yourself. You kind of pigeonhole yourself into doing limited things. But if you can do both sides of the fence, then the possibilities are wide open. But anyway, Big Cass came in and hit a big boot, a side slam, then tagged in Enzo Amore, went for the rocket launcher, got the pin and the win. So congratulations to Enzo Amore, Colin Cassady, and Carmella. I think it was a pretty good opening match. Anywhere else on the card, I don't think it would have worked, but I think this was a great match to come out to. It had a lot of decent action. Let's see, then they did the recap of Kevin Owens and his rampage leading up to Money in the Bank and the stuff that's going to be coming afterwards. I like that. They did an interview with Samoa Joe talking about, hyping up their match, talking about him using intimidation. That's a tactic of the cowardly. By the way, I need to mention after this, they did like a little mini biography with Finn Balor. One thing I didn't know is he trained Becky Lynch. I did not know that. So, hey, even I can learn something every now and then. So, yeah. After that, they showed him with the Insane Wrestling Championship all throughout the UK. I don't know if they're going to do it because I think they kind of see New Japan as competition. But I was kind of, they mentioned, they were showing, I guess they were getting video from companies that they could work with, especially over in the UK. So that's why they got a video from a couple of feds there, and they were calling him Fergal Devitt by his real name. They talked about how, and I kind of was amazed that they mentioned New Japan because he talked about how the president of New Japan saw him wrestle and then invited him to the dojo. And maybe that's going to be part 2 because this was just part 1. Maybe more is going to come out about that and show his life in New Japan, but I just don't know. I don't know if they could get that video, if they could get permission, copyrights, legal wrangling. But I was impressed that they at least mentioned it because New Japan is doing they got the New Japan World now. They've kind of copied off WWE's network for $9.99 yen, which over here in the U.S. is like, I think like $8.34 roughly. It's just over $8. It's somewhere around $8.50. Which if they had English commentary, God, I would so fucking get that because I like me some New Japan. I have not watched a lot of New Japan as of late. I'm disappointed in myself because I like New Japan. I like Shibata. I like the Time Splitters. I like Okada. I like Nakamura. I like Tanahashi. I like, I like the Bullet Club. Who's that fucking guy who lost to AJ Styles I'm forgetting his name right now. They lost to him at Wrestle Kingdom. I like that kid. Anyway, not for me droning on. Next, we got to a women's match. I kind of don't know why this was here, but it was Charlotte versus Cassady. I don't know if Cassie is a women's talent or an enhancement talent. And what I mean by that is I don't know if Cassady is someone like Blue Pants who just kind of comes in on a per appearance basis. They just kind of come in, they work, work as a role as like a jobber to come in, or if they've actually signed her and they're actually working her in. They were just working her with Charlotte. I don't know the point of this. I guess they're hyping up a match between Dana Brooke and Charlotte, so they gotta keep trotting out Charlotte and having her look strong. And she did just that. She went out there and absolutely destroyed this girl. Now, Casey didn't look like any slouch, but she got a headlock, head scissors takedown. But Charlotte quickly took over with a big old boot to the face. I didn't realize how long Charlotte's legs were until I watched this match. But just booted her right in the damn mouth. Then tried that schoolgirl with the bridge on it. That didn't work. Eventually chopping her down, spearing her, and then locking on her version of the figure 4, which he calls the figure 8 because it's twice as good as her dad's. Good enough for the submission win. Speaking of Dana Brooke, she gave an interview saying that she's not a former fitness competitor. She is a fitness competitor competing in the Arnold Bodybuilding Classic down in Brazil. She's earned her spot where Charlotte was giving hers and says, I'll kick you out that door and slam it shut, and then patted, it's not Savannah. Why the hell am I forgetting names right now? I'm having a Coco moment. I like that little pat on the head. I'm going to look. Devin Thomas. Thank you. Devin Thomas. Patted her on the head. I'm thinking this is going to lead to something because this is like the 4th time she's done that, and Devin fucking hates it. I'm hoping something comes out of this, rather than her just being a fucking dick about everything. Then we get to the main event, Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens. This is like a dream match here. This is something I never ever thought I would see on any WWE affiliated television show. We have, Kevin Owens, the NXT champion, obviously the hottest star, the biggest heel on Raw going right now, versus the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, two former ROH guys. Tying it up on WWE television. I absolutely love that. Let's see. Kevin Owens doing it. I guess it's kind of like become a trademark for him now. Like they kind of do like a stare down, and he rolls out of the ring. Joe came after him, hit him with an elbow and enziguri. Let's see. They went back into the ring. We got. Kevin Owens got control, hit him with that cannonball, and then started wearing him down. Started doing a chin lock. Yeah, it was more of a chin lock. Yeah, like a variation of the sleeper hold. And then Owens screams, "Headlock City!" And the crowd starts chanting with it, going with it. Joe managed to squeeze out of that, but took a knee to the face. He came back again, hit a running senton, and then just the agility out of Samoa Joe. I mean, guys, Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, I'm not going to say they're going to win any bodybuilding contest anytime soon, but I'm impressed that WWE think about it. They're stereotypical superstars, somebody like John Cena, somebody like Batista, somebody like The Undertaker, these like just big guys, these muscular guys. And while Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, while they look a little bit round, these guys are fucking quick and very agile. Samoa Joe, just boom, 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 hitting all these moves in succession. Looked amazing. There was even a tease about a power bomb on the outside. This brawl just went onto the floor. A referee gets in there and starts telling him, "No, get it back in the ring. Got to get it back in the ring." As the referee was in front of Samoa Joe, pushing on, trying to tell him to get back in the ring, Kevin Owens, comes from behind, to hit Samoa Joe and sandwiches the referee. This calls for a disqualification, which kind of disappointed me. And then they called out more referees, and they called out security, which led to about every, pull-apart brawl we've ever seen in our lives. There's like 20 guys on each of the competitors, but they still managed to break free and punch each other until eventually Kevin Owens walks away holding up the NXT championship and saying, "The champ is here." So officially a no contest. I thought it was a disqualification I thought they were going to disqualify Samoa Joe and have Kevin Owens win, but I think they just threw the whole thing out. I was kind of disappointed by this ending because normally NXT has clean finishes. Normally I expect the fuck finishes to be on Raw, where they're scared to have a clean finish, to have a win, to have a winner, to have a loser. But not on NXT. There have been times it's like, well, how are they going to do this? And they'll have somebody win clean or lose clean, and it doesn't matter. Usually no matter if it's a face or heel, they have, there's a clear winner, a clear loser, and somebody looks, and everybody looks good at the end. That should be the point of every finish, to have everybody still look good at the end of it. They didn't do this. This seemed more like a Raw tactic. This seemed like kind of like a cop-out. I know everybody's saying, well, there's going to be more money in the rematch. Well, we're not going to get too many opportunities for a rematch with essentially Kevin Owens being called up. And let me tell you something. If Kevin Owens wasn't being called up to Raw, I guarantee he would have won the match tonight. Simple as that. But with him getting called up, they're working so many dates with him. We've got about it'll be 2 weeks from this Saturday that he has that title defense against Finn Balor live in Tokyo, Japan, which I'll try to be watching. I don't know what time that's going to come on, because I'm thinking it's probably going to come on about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning here in the United States, because otherwise they're going to have to be running the shows over there in Japan at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, which ain't going to draw anybody. I'm thinking they're just going to have to record it and replay it on the network, because there's no way. I mean, I guess you could do it live and watch it live, but there's a 13-hour time difference between the Eastern time zone, here where I'm at in Richmond, and then between here and Tokyo, Japan. And I know this because Dave lives in Tokyo, and it's a big pain in the ass for us to talk. Because, right now, as me doing this, it's 9:30 at night. Over there, it'd be 10:30 in the morning. So if that kind of gives you any idea of just how big that gap is, I mean, that's how huge it is. So I'm thinking WWE's just going to record that on the network and then replay it a little bit later. At least that's what they should do. Of course, I mean, they're going all out in Japan. They're bringing over Chris Jericho, which the Japanese crowd loves. I knew they were fucking serious when they brought out goddamn Brock Lesnar, because you're going to have to impress them in Japan, because you can't just do this bullshit of just do like a glorified house show. You're going to have to go out there and impress them, because the crowd's just going to the crowd's got New Japan, they got All Japan, they got Dragon Gate, they got Progress, they know it. They've got a lot of good stuff going on over there, and well, to be honest. If you're going to bring WWE over, you're supposed to be the king of professional wrestling here in the United States, and bring that over to Japan, you're going to have to impress them, because otherwise they'll just get the fuck up and leave, because they've got their alternatives. I mean, it's like living in a town with, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. If you're going to try to bring in a Whataburger, you're going to have to bring something different to the table. You're going to have to, okay, wow, it's because we can get a hamburger anywhere. You're going to have to bring what makes your hamburger so much better. Same thing with WWE. We got a lot of good wrestling here. We'll make sure wrestling better. So they're going to bring the pain. They're going to bring in a lot of the big guys. Hopefully that's going to turn out well. I kind of wish they would do a Raw over there, but back during I think it was maybe the Attitude Era, they brought him over to Japan. It was a big hit, and I remember, God bless him, that Japanese ring announcer. They brought him over, and the crowd was booing. They wanted everything done in English. So I think the guy maybe announced the entrance of like 2 matches, and I think they brought out like Ruin Garcia, and they took it over. They just took it away from there. And then as of late, they got a little lazier once WCW went bye-bye. But you can't do that over there. I wish you kind of couldn't do that over here, but oh well. All right, so I'm thinking they're going to have to do a rematch. They're going to have to do something, because I would like to see a clean finish before they call up Kevin Owens. And assuming they do put the championship on Finn Balor, who's going to be his challengers? I mean, okay, you get Tyler Breeze out of the way. So I would have Tyler Breeze, but who else? I mean, I'm talking credible challengers. I mean, you're going to bring out, what, Bull Dempsey? I'm not buying Bull Dempsey. Mojo Rawley, not buying him. Who would you have? That's actually going to be another question. With all the injuries, I mean, how are you going to balance this roster that you have already? I mean, you're going to have to – I think this is the point where you sit the locker room down and go, look, guys, we have this little thing on the wall saying, hey, you're not here to fill a spot, you're here to take a spot. Well, spots are wide open. You're going to have to step it up and take these spots here. You got guys out, guys being called up. You're going to have to step up your game, and you're going to have to, show these people how good you are and prove that you can be a superstar and see that you can hang with the big boys. At least that's what I think they should do. All in all, not a bad episode of NXT. It had been in recent weeks where NXT had been getting the Ring of Honor treatment. And what I mean by that is with Ring of Honor, it's for the most part a lot of the stuff. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff on their TV show that builds up, and continues storylines, but all the really, really important shit happens on pay-per-views. That's kind of the way that NXT is. Yeah, there's some good stuff on there, and it builds up storylines, but all the really good, important shit happens at TakeOver. So, I mean, it was good to see. It was refreshing to see something. So I would definitely say check it out. I guess by default, the worst, even the Charlotte Cassie match really wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. So, I mean, that's worth watching. The 6-person intergender tag team match had its moments, had some good stuff. And while I was disappointed with the Samoa Joe Kevin Owens ending, I still think it's worth a watch. So yeah, give this show a try if you're looking to check out NXT, because I know there's a ton of wrestling to watch on Wednesday nights. Now, speaking of that, I got a shit ton of reviews to do. I was asked by Coco specifically not to review Lucha Underground, so I'm going to have to wait because he wants first crack at that. Now, if we can get together, I'd like to review that with him. They got an Iron Man match tonight between Prince Puma and Johnny Mundo. So I'm interested to see how that goes and see how they follow up from last week and whether they're going to go next week. I don't have Destination America, so I have not had a chance to watch Ring of Honor or TNA. As soon as those are uploaded, I'm going to watch that and get a review for at least one of those up. And maybe Coco can get the other one, or I can get Rob to step in. Wait a minute, fuck it, that ain't happening. And then, of course, tomorrow night, SmackDown is on. I got to go check that out, get the review in for that. And no, I'm not forgetting about Best in the World 2015. Coming to you live this Friday, courtesy of Ring of Honor. By the way, do you want us to do a pay-per-view profits for that? I'm just asking the Internet Infantry. Normally when we do like a pay-per-view profits for something like Ring of Honor, we get like maybe 7 people who actually watch, maybe 3 people, including me, who actually play. So, I mean, if not, that's cool. It doesn't bother me. But if you really, really want it, hey, I'll be more than glad to step in and do a pay-per-view profits, even if it's just all by myself. And then Saturday we got an off day, Sunday we got an off day, and then we start everything all over again on Monday with our Monday Night Raw review. And of course, you can check everything else out at KocoSports.com. But before we go, let's get some questions and get some comments in. So hook and shoot. It's good to see him again. He says, "Hey, Boom Boom, just want to say it's great to see you again. We missed you." Well, I really haven't been anywhere, but hey, I missed you too. I wonder how's your review show going, sir? You haven't sent any links, so I haven't had a chance to check it out as of late. So if you got some shows going, send me some links. I'll check it out. You support me, I'll support you. I don't get to do Monday Night Raw reviews as much. I had an unexpected off day, so I got to review this past Monday Night Raw with Dave. And whew, good Lord, we went a long time on that one. So let me know what you think about that. Typically now I'm off Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I get to watch NXT, Lucha Underground. I mean, hell, it's the night to be off. So, you know, I'll take that trade-off. I will definitely trade in my Monday nights for Wednesdays because Wednesdays are a lot more entertaining than Monday, at least consistently. They're more entertaining. Let's see, Sean Heston. I like that name. He says, win, but I'd like to see the show go 2 hours or add like a television title. You know, to be honest, Sean, I know why you want to see 2 hours, but right now I think NXT is doing really good with just an hour. If their roster was to expand, I'm talking like significantly and get like a lot of like big talent in there. And when I say big talent, I mean like, you know, I mean think about it. You're going to pay, you know, $9.99 a month to get NXT, or you really going to, you know, tune in for 2 hours if you have like Scott Dawson versus Marcus Lee. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, you could probably get away with that with one match on an episode, but yeah, I would rather not expand it for 2 hours just yet. Not saying that's a bad idea. Just right now is not the perfect time, in my opinion, because with all the people being called up and all the injuries right now, they've got a thin roster, and I think they did just good as they could tonight to kind of hide that fact. I think if you did 2 hours, I mean, I think you can really expose NXT, because right now they're in some trouble. They are in some serious trouble. Now, it's nothing that it can't be fixed. It's nothing that, you know, time won't heal, and, you know, because it's going to take time to build up some new guys, and it's going to take more time for some of these other guys like, you know, Hideo and Tommy to heal up and get back. But right now, I don't think it's the time. In the future, yes. Right now, no. A television title? Well, technically they don't have TV. It's on the WWE Network, and I think it'd be kind of ridiculous to have the Internet Championship. I would suggest something either like a Cruiserweight title or a junior heavyweight championship, just something so some of maybe the smaller guys could do, maybe like a test run if you want to see who was going to be, you know, who would be good as a NXT champion or not. I could see something like that. I think that would be a good idea, just to give the smaller guys something to do, because face it, you know, Samoa Joe would eat a lot of smaller guys for breakfast. It says the takeover, and again, this is from Sean Heston. It says the takeovers are so much better than the weekly show because it doesn't leave you wanting more. It just feels like they could be filling up so much more time with all the talent they have pulling up. And Naito, thank you. Naito is the guy who beat AJ at Wrestle Kingdom. Yes. Yeah, Naito. I like that guy. No, wait a minute. No, that wasn't him. No, that wasn't Naito, because AJ won that one because he hit it was that kid from, I think it was either All Japan or Noah, but came in that, He gave him the Styles Clash off the middle rope. That's the guy I'm talking about. But I know who the Stardust Genius is. Naito, you know. Yeah, I know. I do like him. I do like him. He's a good kid. I'm thinking about the other guy. Let's see. Come on, give me some more comments, people. And I think I'm actually out. Yeah, I'm actually out. So that's going to do it for me. If you get your comments in now and I don't get to it, we'll try to get to it, Stump the Idiot, or at least I'll answer it here on down here in the comments section. So be sure to check us out at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes boxing, mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling, taekwondo, kickboxing, judo. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got it covered there on the site. So check out our news and gossip section. That's updated daily. We've even got a very popular video on demand section. So if you missed any shows this past week, you can go back there and check it out. Of course, we've got the archives of every Boom Boom Room, every Coco's Corner, and every Wrestle AM. Also, be sure to check out Wrestling Rantin'. That's with 3 S's. And American a la carte. Some great guys. They have some great shows. And like us, subscribe to us here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, because we're cranking out shows like you wouldn't believe, man. We got more issues. We got more shows than National Geographic's got issues, dude. We're banging these bad boys out all the time. And get your questions coming in. Maybe we'll do a Stuff the Idiot in the future. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm down here in the comments section. This is a little game I played on Monday night. It was just kind of something I hadn't thought about in a while, and I brought it in, and apparently it took off. So let's just see if we can keep the momentum going. I'm going to ask you a fact or fiction. I'm going to basically make a statement. It's called fact or fiction. I'll make a statement, and you tell me if the statement I'm making is fact or fiction, and you tell me why. And I saw this question. Actually, somebody wrote an article on this. So I'm going to ask the question out here to the internet infantry this evening. Kevin Owens will headline WrestleMania 32. Fact or fiction, and why? So let me know down here in the comments section. Thank you for watching. We've got some more reviews coming as soon as I can get them watched and get them going. So in the meantime, this is Boom Boom. And for my partner, Dave Coco, I am over.